The 4-day siege on an upscale mall in Kenya is finally over. The world's speculations as to why it happened, however, are not. An al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group, Al-Shabaab, took responsibility for the attacks that killed an upwards of 60 people, leaving another 175 injured. The attacks come in the wake of a troubled past that bordering nations Somalia and Kenya share. Terry Ostabo, assistant professor at the University of Florida's Center of African Studies, says this attack was an act of retaliation.
Kenya intervened in Somalia in 2010-11 and became part of the AMISOM, the African Union forces, and still have Kenya still has a number of forces, soldiers within Somalia. So this is a kind of a revenge act or retaliation against this, the Kenyan presence within Somalia.
The Somali-based Al-Shabaab group has been controlling Somalia for years, but past pressure put on the group by the Kenyan government weakened their ability to function. Ostabo says the recent attacks was a way for Al-Shabaab to flex its political muscles on an international stage.
Al-Shabaab was the port town of Kismayo in Somalia, and a couple of years ago they were driven out of there and severely weakened as a result of the pressure from the Kenyan army and the Amazon forces. So I think it's hard to say that this is going to be a new shift in any direction. I think we could perhaps say this is the last desperate attempt of Al-Shabaab to kind of show their strength.
Kenya was hit with an al-Qaeda attack in 1998 when the group attacked the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi. Ostabo warns against making claims that the latest attacks are the start of a new wave of violence.
The mall attack by itself is serious enough. That needs to be emphasized. But to kind of predict now that we perhaps would see like an emerging pattern and a wave of mall attacks, I think is a little premature.
Some reports allege that a few of the attackers were Americans. With the surge of Western media coverage on the attacks, Ostabo believes connections to the U.S. has hit close to home for America.
But now, of course, after 9/11 and of course going back to 1998 with the attacks on the embassies in Tanzania and Kenya, it has become closer to home for Americans. And of course, the scale of attacks, like New York attacks, has of course also generated attention. But like I say, it's not something new, but it's just that it has become closer to home. It has been something that America is increasingly more involved in, and then of course that generates attention.
With varying accounts of the official death toll, Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta praised troops for defeating the terrorist group. He has since declared 3 days of mourning. Leah Harding, WUFT News.